When fans hear the phrase quarterback competition, they usually imagine a fair contest on the practice field. The assumption is simple. Whoever performs the best wins the job. But inside an NFL organization, quarterback decisions are shaped by something much bigger than practice performance. In our last episode, we introduced an idea most fans rarely think about. In the NFL, quarterback competitions are not just about talent, they're about opportunities, and more specifically, who the organization chooses to invest those opportunities in. An NFL practice only lasts a certain amount of time. Coaches can only run so many plays during that window, and every rep given to one quarterback is a rep another quarterback doesn't receive. Not all reps are equal. The most valuable opportunities happen when a quarterback is working with the first team offense, throwing to starting receivers, and playing behind the starting offensive line against the starting defense. Those reps matter most because they simulate real game conditions and allow the quarterback to build timing and chemistry with the players he would be actually playing with on game day. But those opportunities aren't handed out randomly. The way practice reps are allocated usually reflects alignment between the head coach, the general manager, and ownership. Each of those stakeholders has a reason to care about how those opportunities are distributed. For the head coach, practice reps are about preparing the team to win games. The offense needs timing and chemistry with the quarterback, who is most likely to start on game day. Giving those reps to the wrong player can slow down the development of the entire offense. For the general manager, practice reps are also about evaluation. The GM needs to see how players perform with the first team offense in order to make long-term roster decisions. And sometimes that means giving opportunities to players the organization has invested heavily in, even if they're still developing. Ownership also has a stake in these decisions. When millions of dollars or high draft picks are invested in a player, owners want to know that investment is being properly evaluated. And those conversations about opportunity and development often happen behind closed doors between ownership, the general manager, and the coaching staff. That's why alignment between the general manager and the head coach is so important. In Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam asked Andrew Berry to lead the coaching search, which gave the general manager a major role in selecting the head coach he would work with. When Berry talks about Todd Monken being a good partner, he's describing the kind of alignment organizations try to build from the start.
It's really been a great past couple weeks. Todd's been a really great partner. I'm really excited about the group of coaches that he's put together that we're putting the finishing touches on.
All of this leads to an uncomfortable truth about quarterback competition. Selecting the starting quarterback isn't just a football decision. It's also a business decision because teams have to balance performance on the field with the investments they've already made in certain players. One of the clearest examples of this business dynamic is draft investment. When a team selects a player higher in the draft, the organization has more invested in that player. And one of the only ways to properly evaluate that investment is by giving them meaningful practice reps. We saw an example of this dynamic last season in Cleveland. Dillon Gabriel received opportunities in training camp that Shedeur did not. When a team drafts a quarterback earlier, that decision reflects the organization's belief in that player and creates a natural priority to evaluate him first. Because practice reps are limited, those early opportunities can shape the entire evaluation process. If one quarterback receives most of the first team reps, another quarterback may never get the same chance to show what he can do with the starting offense, and that can make it extremely difficult to change the depth chart once camp begins. From the outside, those patterns can be difficult to fully track because reporters only see some of the practices where those reps are being distributed. Coaches often describe quarterback battles as open competitions. In fact, Todd Monken himself has used that phrase when talking about the Browns quarterback room. But once you understand how practice reps are allocated and how organizations evaluate their investments, the definition of an open competition can start to look a little different.
I think it's an open competition. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be an open competition. And I don't mean that saying it harshly, but I don't think there's enough on film over the last couple of years, one way or the other, to say, boy, we have a starter quarterback yet.
So when coaches talk about open competition, just keep in mind it doesn't always mean every quarterback receives the same opportunities. Sometimes it means the organization is evaluating multiple players within the structure of the opportunities available, and those opportunities often show up in how practice reps are distributed. Another signal that can shape a quarterback competition is what a team does in free agency. Every new quarterback added to the roster creates another claim on the limited practice reps available in camp. And so far, the Browns have not made a major addition at quarterback, which could suggest the organization is comfortable evaluating the players already in the room. That's why practice reps are such an important signal. They reveal which quarterbacks the organization prioritizes and who receives the most opportunity with the first team. And over time, those opportunities begin to tell a story about where the competition is actually headed. In our next episode of this series, we're going to shift our focus to the Browns' offensive system. We'll take a closer look at Todd Monken's previous coaching stops and the quarterbacks he's worked with over the years. And even though Monken is known for adapting his system to his personnel, coaches are creatures of habit, and those patterns may reveal the traits he values most in a quarterback. And that's why understanding how practice reps are allocated can reveal far more about a quarterback competition than the word open ever could. If you enjoy breaking down the signals behind the headlines, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next episode in this investigation. This is Press Room Breakdown, where we slow the room down and study how the message gets made. And before we wrap up, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. It tells me you're not just watching headlines, you're interested in the analysis behind the decisions teams make. Since you're still here, I want to show you something interesting. In one of Todd Monken's previous press conferences, he was asked a simple question about what he looks for when evaluating quarterbacks. Listen carefully to how he answers this.
When you're evaluating quarterbacks, what are some of the more important qualities or characteristics that you're looking for?
Accuracy is number one, because if you're going to throw the football, you have to be accurate with the football. That would be number one. How are they accurate in terms of throwing the football? Mental toughness, I think that's up there. That's got to be a big part of it. The ability to sustain through the ups and downs of playing the position and the media scrutiny. The next part is athleticism, the ability to move and extend plays. The game has become that so much more in terms of your athleticism. So when you're talking about accuracy, mental toughness, and the athletic ability to escape and make plays are probably the top three.
Now listen to that for a second. Accuracy, mental toughness, and athleticism. But when Todd Monken talks about athleticism here, he's not talking about design quarterback runs. He's talking about the ability to move, extend plays, and create when the original play isn't there. And when we start thinking about it that way, does that description sound like a quarterback we already know?
If you want a kid who can just surgically take a team down the field, pick you apart, see things, recognize things, diagnose, make decisions that are sound, also get the ball to accurate points and precise points to a receiver, and hang in tough in that pocket, take hits and keep getting up, don't point fingers, don't assign blame, win football games.
Now honestly, we probably should end the video here and save the rest for the next episode. But after hearing Todd Monken describe the traits he looks for in a quarterback, I think we need to go back. So let's do that right now. Let's go back and look at one interaction we've already seen. That's right. Let's go back and watch that moment again between Todd Monken and Shedeur Sanders when Monken first arrived in Cleveland, and see if it hits a little bit different this time.
Where I'm going in at? Oh, yeah.
Hey, young man. How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
How we doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year. For God's sake. It's all worked out.
Yeah. That's
You remember that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, sit down.